These Hot Idiots is a podcast featuring our hosts, two full-grown adult men. Together, they watch teen drama and young adult-oriented television shows one episode at a time. These Hot Idiots is a comedy podcast and isn't meant to be taken as real criticism. This podcast uses adult language. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to These Hot Idiots, the only podcast where we changed the recording day because I didn't want to make Megafighter review Twilight on his birthday.
Yeah, my birthday's tomorrow.
I don't know. I don't like working on my birthday. I'm not going to make him work on his birthday, mostly because I'm a friend and that would be the nice thing to do. I'm Ashe, he's Mega. It's the birthday boy. I'm not the birthday boy.
Not yet the birthday boy, but basically the birthday boy.
Effectively the birthday boy. You might have your birthday during this recording if we go long enough.
Oh my god, that's a possibility.
I'm not saying we're going to go that long, but we could. Potentially.
Right.
This is the first.
Yes.
This is the first time we've reviewed a Twilight movie. Ever? No, the first time we reviewed a Twilight movie where we took a break in the middle, mostly because I had errands, and also because it was going to drive us crazy. It was going to drive me crazy.
I don't know if drive us crazy was the case because this is a movie where nothing fucking happens.
You know what's a little worse than annoying or infuriating or bad? Boring.
We got rants out of New Moon. I don't think we're gonna get anything out of this one.
Let's just walk through this one step at a time here, and we'll collect our thoughts on the way. You've read the Twilight books by Stephanie Meyer.
I have read pretty much all but one. I'm still making my way for Breaking Dawn, which I'm now gonna have to actually finish before we get to the movies.
Well, there'll be time, unless we do August 13th.
Yeah,
that's the wedding day. So Twilight Eclipse, I believe, got a 46 rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yep, released in 2010. New director on the project, I believe, David Slade.
Yeah, David Slade, who is a different director than the last one, and honestly, I don't think he did a good job.
Oh, that's not a good sign.
What?
One of his first directorial roles was it was a commercial for Silent Hill. Never mind. I thought he did the Silent Hill movie. No, David Slade did Hard Candy, which is actually a pretty well-known, fairly well-received.
It's weird. He did Hard Candy, and then he did 30 Days of Night, which is a horror movie based on the comic book.
Which is another vampire movie, yes.
And then he did Twilight Eclipse, and then took like 8 years off because he was busy doing.
He was doing
music
cinema.
videos and episodes of Hannibal.
And then he did Bandersnatch.
Bandersnatch. Oh yeah, he did do Bandersnatch.
So this guy knows his stuff. So I don't know what happened here with.
It's just really weirdly edited is the current problem I'm having.
Yeah.
We're in an alleyway and it's raining, but way too much rain. It's doing that you got a garden hose.
Rain.
You got that garden hose kind of rain. And this kind of dude with the schlubby looking haircut's running down an alleyway. And I think he looks back to a diner or something, the one that he was looking at. I think he got thrown out of, maybe. And then he gets chased and he runs down a dock. And then something bites him on the hand and runs away, and we're left with him looking at his bloody hand. It's he injected his vampire venom into me. I forgot the vampires have venom.
They have venom.
Vampire venom. And he goes, Charlie! That really hurt! Charlie bit me! Get hit with a logo. And Bella's narrating, and she's like, if the world was going to end tomorrow, and if it burned to death or froze to death, I would rather have it burned to death. And I'm like, yeah, but like a frozen planet's more thematically interesting, but I guess it's personal preference. You know, with cold you can always layer up, but with hot you can't take your skin off.
You can't take your skin off. You can't layer down
Can't
as
layer
much.
down, and like I don't care if you're a vampire. If it's balmy, it's hot. Edward's hair looks weirdly permish in some of these scenes. Like
Yeah,
it's just like really curly for some reason.
I think at some point you pointed out that the that the hair looks really fake because of all like the pale makeup they have to wear on it, making their natural hair look
The
less real.
Cullens especially, but you know,
Oh,
maybe a
definitely
little
the
bit of
Cullen.
Victoria and a little bit of Riley.
Just anyone who has the vampire makeup on, their hair looks faker as a result of how fucking pale they are.
Well, what normal hair looks like is there's a little bit of hair just before your hairline, right? And then the majority of your hair starts. But with them, it looks brushed over, so it just looks like their hair's just attached to nothing. Like no scalp on their, like the hair doesn't come from their scalp, it's just on their head, right? If that makes sense.
Yeah, it's just kind of thrown onto their head,
And
basically.
you know, they tried really hard to make Edward look good. His hair's all tousled and you know, his eyebrows are plucked. And, you know, but he doesn't look great. He looks, I wouldn't say sickly because no, he looks clammy, but not like a vampire clammy. He just looks like he's got a bunch of shit on him. Also, his lips are like still the regular skin color, so he just always looks like he's got lip gloss on.
Always looks like he's got a lip gloss smear on him.
I don't know. It just the hair and makeup is just. I don't know how fucking a CW show gets this better than like a movie does. I don't think they do anything to the vampires in Vampire Diaries. They're just dudes.
They're just dudes. I don't even know if they do like the fangs as much. I think they maybe do fangs.
Well, they haven't done
fangs.
they haven't done Ookie face this season of Vampire
That's
Diaries.
true. There's been less Ookie face. There's been less. There's been less face.
They're in a field of like lavender flowers, and like she keeps talking about like wanting to be married or wanting to be turned into a vampire, and Edward just replies like, "I'll only turn you into a vampire if you marry me." But it's like, but I don't want to marry you. I want to be a vampire. And Edward's like, look, no marriage, no vampire. And
This
she's
is
like,
a
why? And the
dumb
weird thing of
argument.
like, she's arguing for vampirism, but against marriage, which is weird because I don't know. I feel like becoming an immortal vampire is a more difficult decision. Yes.
You are so
years of unlife and all your family dying versus your Bella Swan
you want to
Cullen.
live forever, but you don't want to commit to marriage.
And like her dad was divorced. Her dad got divorced from her mom, so like she knows that if it doesn't work out, they could get divorced. But at the same time, can't really be a vampire. I'm just saying there's a finality in becoming a vampire versus getting married, because you can just have it annulled. Like, who cares? Like, annulled it, you can have it annulled so that you don't even have to do the fucking, like, you get half my stuff shit. It's just like, yeah. we didn't marry. No, just strike it off the record. It's just such a weird thing. And then she brings up the divorce rate of like people who are married. He's like, vampires can't get divorced. It's like, I guess vampires. Well, I don't know the divorce rate between vampires and living. Actually, I think that's 100%. What do you think about the vampire divorce rate, Megafighter?
Well, most of the time, it seems like when vampires fall out of love, they usually just rip the other one's heart right out.
Heart extraction, yeah, that's a good divorce.
Or heart extraction happening.
I'm more of a paperwork kind of guy.
There's no prenup with vampires, it seems.
Yeah, no nuptials. No nups, as they call them in the streets. They do not call it that.
They do not.
So Charlie's reading a newspaper, and like the big headline is just murders. And then Bella comes in, and he's like, "Wow, you're actually back by 4. Go figure." And she's like, "Shut up! Like Edward's being a good boyfriend to me." It's like, "I'm gonna remove your stairs so that you're grounded, Bella."
You're gonna remove your stairs because you are grounded, Bella.
And she's like, and he's like, "I don't like Edward. I don't like him around, and I don't want you seeing him that much. But I'll ungrind."
You went to Italy.
You went to Italy. You pretended you were dead. Like you jumped off a cliff.
This is not a healthy relationship at all.
So it's like, "I'll unground you if you please socialize with your other friends, Bella. Please, you have other friends. Just talk to them." Like Jacob, I don't know. And so she's like, "Jacob's ghosting me. He hasn't answered my phone calls." Like, whatever. Just hang out with somebody.
Just hang out with your friends.
Hang out with your friends, Bella. You have them. Friends are friends.
So you hang out with all your friends, like Mike and Jessica
Miles.
and Angela and Eric and Tyler and
what happened to that Asian? What happened to that Asian guy friend? Was that Tyler?
No, that was Eric. Tyler was the black friend who ran him over with the car.
Oh,
or almost hit her with the truck,
and then threw Twizzlers at her. Yeah,
and then he vanished in the second movie. And you can't forget about all your other friends, Bella, like Bridget and Courtney and DJ and Duncan and Eva and Ezekiel. I always wonder when I'm gonna hit you with it.
I don't know what the joke is.
I'm just reading off of the fucking character sheet on Total Drama.
You got me again. He got me again. God damn it.
It's been months since the last time, so this joke retained freshness.
He can't do it again. You fucker.
I'm gonna eventually fucking dig into like the later seasons to really fuck with you.
I don't know the names of the new one.
It's gonna be even funnier.
You can't keep doing this to me.
Can't keep getting away with it.
You son of a bitch. She's got a love note from Jacob, and then she goes to her truck, and Edward's removed the engine.
He's taking the fucking engine out. Dude is fucked.
He removed the engine, and now he's sitting in the car, and the Belle's like, "You scared me." And he's just like, "Alice saw stuff, and we gotta be careful now. Also, I took the engine down."
It was really like a not jump scare on this one.
No, we just got in the car.
There's an energy of just like
Edward and Bella are at school, and Mike and Eric exist. They're now there. Tyler, fuck him. I don't know.
Tyler just does not exist.
Tyler
just
doesn't exist. They're gonna have a party.
He is gone from this series. We will never see this man again.
They're gonna have a party at the Cullens, and then Alice just sits there at the table and just starts disassociating.
It's supposed to be having vision, but it genuinely gives off the energy of fucking disassociating.
Oh, Alice, what happened? I think I just saw like outside my body. That was weird. I was like a player in like a GTA game. I was looking at the back of my own head. And then I started getting these ominous notes in my dreams. Telling me to cook noodles.
Oh my god. You'll tell that story on Tumblr one day.
So they, after school, Bella and Edward go to the police office to check on Charlie, and Charlie's talking to some people about this kid named Riley who disappeared. And then, because there's disappearances in Seattle, now the Masquerade's a problem, and the fucking Volturi are going to get themselves involved, and they're kind of late on that. Really? And by the way they get involved is stupid. They just send 4 dudes. Like, just two girls and 2 guys, and they just walk around and be ominous.
Really is, huh?
And then we get dropped with the fact that Edward and the Cullens scrounged up money to get her a ticket to Florida.
Get her a round trip ticket to Florida, and Charlie's like, yes.
Yes.
I mean, are you sure you want to go?
Are you sure you want to go, Bella? And he's like, I got 2 tickets to Florida. And he's just like, oh God, do I have to go to Florida? It's like, no, I'm taking Edward to Florida. God damn it.
Well,
At least I get
to go to Florida.
At least I don't got to go to Florida and talk to my bitch of a wife. And then we're just in Florida.
Billy, game's on.
Just calls Billy Black. It's like, hey, are you ready Are you ready for some football?
And Billy's going to Florida. Yeah, we just cut and we're right in Florida. There's not even like a transition shot of a plane.
I was going to say, then Billy's just like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just in Florida.
There's not even a transition shot of like a plane.
I thought we were going to get another Virgin Airlines plane shot where like she takes Virgin Airlines because she's a virgin and she's on a plane.
Is that the reason why they took that sponsorship?
No, but that's my reason. She didn't take I'm a Virgin Airlines to Florida. No, they just have her in like a deck chair, and the color grading's like kind of yellow. And she's brightened
it up.
And she's talking to her mom, and Edward's in the kitchen. She's just
kind
of
sitting awkwardly.
And she's like, I'm so glad you made it to what is currently Florida, Bella.
I'm sure glad you are in Florida.
And she talks about planning to move to Alaska because you and Edward are like magnets, because we just spent a whole lot of time off screen together.
It sure was great that we spent time together in Florida.
In Florida. And then she gets her a birthday gift in a little purple box, which me and Megafighter liked because it was a semblance of Bella liking something.
Because she mentioned that purple's cool back in the first movie, and that's really so. This is the second instance of her liking purple.
And it's a quilt of all the places they visited back when she was she moved around a lot.
When they moved around a lot, because I think they moved around a lot because her she travels because her Phil, the baseball guy.
The baseball guy goes to different places to play baseball. Like
the minor league washout that is Phil.
Fucking Phil over here. So yeah, she made a quilt of all the places that her and Phil and Bella went to, and Bella showed like a small amount of joy. Maybe God, if she hates this fucking quilt next movie, I'm gonna punch her. It's been 5 fucking hours of being around this chick, and like, all I know is she likes purple.
All we know is she likes purple. At least we understand that Elena likes pool, and she has friends she hangs out with, actually.
Yeah, and she used to be a cheerleader.
And then she used to be a cheerleader, that's right. And she does a lot of community work.
She's either like A, interested in it, or B, I don't think she cares about reputation, so I think she just might like doing good
helps
things.
Out.
She just likes helping out. And those are honorable traits to have. What the fuck does Bella have besides that she likes purple? Because it's not photography. She hates music. She seemed mildly amused by the quilt, but that might just more be that she got a gift from her mom and not... Because that quilt never shows up again.
That quilt does not show up again. It doesn't even... You think they'd have that in the scenes where she's really cold later, but no.
Oh, yeah! When she's in the tent. You think she would bring the fucking quilt with her, because it's a blanket.
You think?
God, that would have been cool. It's like, I'm cold, but, good thing my mom got me this blanket.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, at the sad, standing vampire club, they're sad and they're standing. The Cullens they break out into, like, running. And it looks like shit.
It looks like shit. How is it that Vampire Diaries is beating them out on vampire running
They're doing
effects?
this thing where like they're holding on their face and they're doing like the running arms. And like there's trees, CG trees rushing past them as they're standing in place and doing the running arms. It just looks so bad. You know, they're
It looks so
parkouring through the
bad.
woods and they found Victoria. Victoria's back, the red-haired girl that was
Red-haired girl who is
the
who is now
boyfriend
our
of the
main
girl
villain.
who attacked Bella that one time.
Yeah, so the girlfriend of James from the first movie. She is our
James.
recurring villain for these movies, at least until this one.
They call out the chase because werewolves are showing up and they're in the werewolf territory. And for some reason, they're okay with Victoria in the werewolf zone. But as
not
soon
the
as
Cullens.
as soon as Emmett jumps the river, the fucking werewolf like tackles his ass. I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
Edward shows up in his Volvo and drops off Bella, and they're just at Washington again.
It is immediately like boom, like
Washington.
snap a finger.
Washington. They went to Florida for 5 minutes of like screen time
5
between.
minutes in Florida, and that's it.
Didn't even do a plane or even like a corny like. I'm thinking like a Batman transition or something.
Yeah. Fitting given who's in this movie.
Correct. He's a vampire and he's Batman. So Jacob is at the stairs of the school and he's pouting. He's pouting so hard. He's trying real hard to
good old pout.
Act hot. It just feels really forced. He's like, Victoria's back, but you know, what would the Cullens doing in our territory? And it's like, I don't know, man. Just look, fucking Victoria's back, and you know, I don't know why you're being all fucking shitty about this.
Yeah,
So,
why we gotta be fucking shitty about this? Like, there's an active not with upholding the treaty vampire in your encampment. You can
and you
guys can
didn't
break the
notice
rules.
her over the Cullens? So, the scene transitions, and I think Bella goes to like the Quileute territories to go hang out with the shirtless boys.
Yeah, she hang out
and
with
one of the shirtless boys
boys.
reveals that like, oh, Jacob was thinking about texting you back, but he kind of wanted you to approach him, and you know he was being all nervous and shit. But he was trying to play. He was trying to play it cool.
And they kept having to hear all his thoughts,
and it sucked.
and
all
Jacob,
the werewolves
you're breaking protocol.
All the werewolves are like can hear each other's thoughts.
Also, Jacob here breaking protocols, not still wearing a shirt.
Yeah, why are you wearing the shirts around the shirtless boys? The shirtless boys are back in town.
Come on, Jacob.
Come on, Jacob. Join the shirtless boys. Take off your shirt.
You gotta take off your shirt when you're with the shirtless boys.
Jacob didn't call because he didn't know what to say. And then we meet a new girl, Leia. She's a bitch. That's her character.
I swear, was she not in the last movie?
No,
like
there was another girl. The girl with
Emily.
The girl with the scar. Like,
oh yeah,
that was like the Sam's girl.
Yeah, Sam's girlfriend. You're right. Leia,
and now there's Leah, and she's just a bitch.
I thought Leia was like introduced and turned into a werewolf in the second movie. I don't know.
I don't know. I this is the first time I saw her. She's a werewolf girl, and she's very salty.
She's very salty.
She's got to keep her shirt on, or else this will be like rated 18, and you can't do that.
Yeah, she can't. She can't be part of the shirtless boys.
Leah's killing the vibe with her wolf telepathy bad thoughts. And then
being all annoyed.
The conversation sort of transports itself to the concept of imprinting with Sam and his girlfriend.
Yes, this shit.
It's like a crush, but more.
It's like a crush, but more. It is very much like brainwashing.
It's a super crush, and you'll try to be anything that the other person wants you to be.
Forever.
And Bella's like, "Are you imprinted with anyone?" And he's like, "Ha, no."
Nah.
Nah. That's lame. Who would imprint themselves?
Who would imprint on anyone? That's dumb. He was an idiot.
Same.
Do you think Leia's as salty as she is because she can't join the shirtless boys?
I mean, I'm all for it. Not in the terms of like I'm a pervert and I want to see her without a shirt. I'm more about equality.
It's equality, yeah. It's
If
like,
you don't want to wear a shirt, don't wear a shirt.
yeah, and also fucking werewolves have natural body heat that's like really high, so
Yeah,
shit.
I don't see a problem with being shirtless boys and girl.
Yeah, she's probably fucking miserable wearing shirts while being a werewolf.
So she talks about her plan to get married to Edward and maybe become a vampire with Edward and maybe get married. And then Jacob just immediately just has a bitch fit and like throws a rock at a wall.
With like a wrench.
You should die.
Die.
You should kill yourself. I'd rather you be dead than be one of them. Vine booms.
I'm thinking of like the lightning strike, low tier god thing, but with Jacob.
You should go to the beach now.
You should go. That's Dave Meltzer.
Yeah, that is Dave Meltzer.
Because Charlie says you should go to Florida now. I guess, baby, just the Jacob flag. You should kill yourself now. I don't know.
I don't know. You should go to Florida now. That's Charlie. Yeah, I was thinking of Moist Critical. You should go to Florida now.
Yeah, because it was like you should get therapy now for Charlie, and then it changed to you should go to Florida now.
Please go to Florida.
Please.
And I don't mean for like one scene.
I don't mean for like 5 minutes.
So this Riley guy is in Bella's bedroom, and he's just like fucking with their shit. That's just all he's doing.
I think he's taking her stuff to kind of get her scent.
I think he steals a shirt.
He steals a shirt.
He also fondles a dream catcher.
He fondles a dream catcher and looms dangerously close to Charlie.
And she's like, fuck it, I don't want to kill Charlie.
Yeah, he just kind of gets really close and then just like, nah.
It looked like he was going to kiss him.
It did. It really did.
So the next day, Charlie's up and Edward's there. And he's like, I gotta go in, there's something wrong. And he goes upstairs. It's like, someone touched your dream catcher, Bella. Someone that wasn't me.
Someone was in your room, and it wasn't me.
And it wasn't me. I wasn't. I mean, I was, but it was.
But not that time.
So, they have a short powwow at the Cullens to figure out who or why this is happening. And they go get Jacob to smell the room. Hold on, smell the room.
Smell for vampire.
Like, yeah, there's vampires in the room. And then
I'm looking at one right now.
Edward and Jacob yell at each other. And Bella's like, no, stop arguing. Right now, I'm neutral. I'm going to become Switzerland.
I'm going to become Switzerland.
So the Cullens have a plan to protect her from the newborns.
The newborn. This is the way they refer to these vampires, as newborns, and it just it completely throws off every line.
I don't know, like, so I was looking through the wiki because I use that to gather information. I just love the phrase, Jasper teaches the Cullens and the Wolfpack how to fight newborns.
How to fight newborns.
Because
your brain is just thinking babies now.
No, I'm just thinking of like Edward and Carlisle and Alice just like doing fucking drop kicking babies, and it's the funniest fucking thing in my head right now.
The fucking Snitsky.
Like no, he like fucking football punts one, and then like a CGI baby just like flips at the screen and like hits it and like hits.
We'll get to CGI babies. Don't you
worry. Like Baby Geniuses 2 or whatever.
Oh man, there was something like that where it was just like a baby flying at the camera and then hitting it.
I don't know. I want to see a CGI baby get thrown at something. That'd be great.
I thought you were gonna end that. I want to see a CGI baby, and I'm like, don't worry, we'll get there.
So now there are sad vampire werewolf guards, and every time they change shifts, they're like werewolves are like.
Everyone's just feeling real.
Jacob is now without a shirt, and he's like,
But
"Oh,
there's no shirtless boys to be around."
But there's no shirtless boys because he's gonna talk directly to Bella about how you shouldn't get with Edward and become a vampire because you got a perfectly good me here." And then he forces her to kiss him, and she punches him because she's mad, except she's made of hot guy and breaks her fingers.
He's made of hot guy, yeah. She breaks her hand on. She sprains her wrist on his face, basically.
Oh fuck! Edward's there at first, but he's driving off because they got to go hunting, and then they do that thing that I just said where they kiss and she punches him.
Yeah, the forced kiss. The point where we start character assassinating Jacob Black really bad.
Yeah.
Like, this was where, like, a lot of the really questionable shit he does that is designed basically to just make him look worse to Edward.
Make him look worse to Edward, whose, like, sole character trait so far is being extremely passive.
Extremely passive.
And just not wanting to change or do anything to affect the status quo, which makes him the hero.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't let anything happen. Edward storms off like a maniac in his car.
He does get a little worked up and just start threatening Jacob over it.
Oh,
fair enough.
Shit. The punches later. Fuck. They kiss in front of Jacob, and Jacob watches. Because then they go to the party, which is more like a council meeting, but it's also a barbecue. So there's like a bunch of old Indian dudes. And this one
bunch
guy,
of old Native Americans, yeah,
or a bunch of old Native American guys, and there's like real old one in like a camo hat and like thick bottle glasses,
bottle rim, yeah, something like that.
Like Coke bottle glasses, and he's just like, "Can we have burgers?
I want to watch the game.
I want to watch football. What is this? Who's this girl? I don't care." Then we meet Seth, the only teenager here that looks like a teenager.
The only young-looking dude in the cast.
Everyone else looks 20. This guy looks 15. Maybe he even looks like 13 or 14, maybe. But I can believe he's 15.
I wonder how old he would have been. I'm gonna check.
Seth Clearwater.
Yeah, because let me see. Seth Clearwater. Boo Boo Stewart.
Boo Stewart.
That was actually, I guess that's his nickname. He was born in 1994. He would have been 16 at the time.
That's what a 16-year-old looks like.
That's just what an actual 16-year-old looks like.
They look like rails. Like their bodies, like you get the height of being an adult, but you don't get the body of being an adult.
Yeah, no, they're real skinny fucks.
And it's always like a twig-looking motherfucker or like chubby or, they look like they're half child.
They're still going through that puberty, and it's not fun.
Billy lays down the law and tells people about the nature of the vampires versus the Quilutes. I think that's what
the cold ones. Yeah, the Quilutes.
They want to crack open a boy with the cold ones.
No, they don't want to crack open a boy with the cold ones. They want to crack open a cold one to save the boys.
Oh, they want to crack open a cold one to save the shirtless boys. That's what.
Yeah.
So then they talk about the history where like a vampire one day in the past in like full regalia and looking really stupid.
Just fucking real dumb motherfucker.
Encountered the indigenous werewolves in the past and started killing them. So then the werewolves killed him back. But then he had an angry girlfriend. Also, they're weak to fire.
Because everything is.
Everything's weak to fire. But they're like, apparently vampires are real flammable, according to Billy Black.
Yeah. They are highly combustible, those vampires.
And then when the fucking vampire attacks the werewolves, he goes, yeah! And then the girlfriend vampire attacked the tribe, and a hero called Tahaaki fought back. But he has 3 wives, and the third wife was there, and she cut her hand open to distract him.
I don't think she cut her hand open. She just kind of stabbed herself in the side. I think she died. It was the implication. It's referred to as a sacrifice, so.
Well, no, but she didn't die. She just bled a bit, and the guy was like, "Huh?" And then the fucking dude tackled him.
Yeah, the vampire lady was like, "Oh, blood," and tried to attack, and then Takaahi just like dropped her.
So the cold ones and their desire to crack open shirtless boys.
Must not be.
And then
must
we
not
get
be allowed.
the first sign of the American sect of the Volturi. And they look like such fucking theater kids. Goddamn.
I don't think they are an American sect. I think it's just for some reason.
They don't have
Dakota Fanning.
accents.
They collect people from all over the world is the thing.
All around the world.
Yeah, Dakota Fanning, Jane, and her little posse are just kind of roaming around watching things.
They're just looking at stuff in the woods. The Cullens are watching the news, and then we learn about the newborns.
The newborn.
Also, Emmett's just weird. He's just being weird this whole time.
He's just a weird dude.
So, newborn vampires are stronger than regular vampires because when they become vampires, they drink their own blood.
They feed on their own remaining human blood as it converts into venom.
That doesn't make sense to me.
That doesn't really make much sense.
You think it would be weaker, kind of like a placenta is for like babies? You think it'd be that, where like it kind of feeds them, but not as good as like food? It's kind of like it's kind of like a little bit of a, you got a fuel tank, and you got to get your first kill before that.
Wait, did you say placebo or placenta?
Placenta.
I think you meant oh wait, maybe placenta is the correct word.
Because I think the placenta is like the thing that gives the baby nutrients or something. I'm not a baby doctor, man. I don't know.
I should hope not. You want to punt them into the sky.
I'm homeschooled is the thing. I don't know that much about like uteruses.
I like how you didn't deny my allegation.
It's true. I hate babies.
I will punt those babies, goddamn.
I will punt those babies. Like, the only people I won't punt are like my relatives, and I don't like them. I don't hurt them.
Yeah.
Because we're related, and it'd be weird. And newborn babies are the ugliest fucking things. I swear to God, like everyone, when you see a picture of a baby, that's like 6 months old baby. Like their eyes are open and they got the little thing of hair on the top of their head and they got the pudgy cheeks.
Yeah.
But when a baby comes out of a mom, they're covered in like this. Apparently, they're like covered in like this weird goop and like hair. And their faces are all wrinkly. And their hands are all wrinkly. They look like a little old man came out.
I believe you've referred to him at least one point as a lumpy potato.
I swear to God, my first niece, my sister came home from a 3-day birth because it was very difficult. She's kind of small. I'm not, but she's small. Comes home, she's all tired. She hands me our niece. Like my niece Natalie, and I go, look at this little baked potato looking motherfucker. And Mom was like, Jake, what the fuck? And I'm like, I'm just telling you the truth.
That's just what she does look like a little baked potato.
And yeah, she looked more like a human after a couple of months.
But in that moment, you're just like, look at this little baked potato.
Look at this little saggy thing. Then she became my niece, and now she's 7, and she goes to school, and she plays Minecraft, and I tell her how to get good at Minecraft sometimes, and she's like, oh my God, I didn't know you could do that. And I'm like, yeah. Minecraft uncle. Fuck yeah.
Minecraft uncle.
I don't even play Minecraft that much, but I still know some secrets about it. We watch a lot of Let's Plays.
Hell yeah.
Anyway,
oh yeah, we were talking about newborns. This does relate back, and the idea of Why does the blood make them strong during this period?
I don't know. They say that the newborns are more dangerous in the sense that they're more powerful, but you think they'd be more dangerous in the fact they don't have scruples, right?
You'd think.
You know how
I think
in
it's
the Vampire Diaries, like, Vicky was dangerous because she had no self-control?
yeah.
I think
No,
that's more
Caroline had to
interesting.
learn it.
It's kind of like the Kid Boo thing, where, like, Kid Boo isn't stronger than Super Boo, but Kid Boo don't give a fuck.
He will just attack anyone
He'll attack
and
anybody, and
anything.
that makes him more dangerous. And I think, they should. I don't, especially with how they deal with them later.
They are easy to take down later on.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
I don't know. I was thinking it was like the Vampire Diaries, where the level of blood you drink will usually determine how strong you are. If you drink more
Yeah,
blood
if you have like a
regularly,
history of drinking blood, you're stronger. That would make more sense. But
yeah. So
I
I
don't.
wonder if the logic is that because they have like a full tank of blood,
They got a full blood tank, but it's their blood, and their blood is like human blood, but they're vampire now, and it's just like excess blood.
they're draining out all their excess blood, but that gives them a lot of vampire strength early on, and then it fizzles out after a month.
I don't fucking know.
It's fucking weird. Is this where we get like just a lame ass montage?
Arrow wanted Alice and Edward to join them, and he doesn't care about the Arrow wanted Alice and Edward to join them, but he doesn't want the other Cullens joining because they suck. And that's
I'll be fair to Ashe here. They also, by the way, we're Ashe and Mega. I feel like we didn't introduce ourselves.
I did. I remembered to do it.
Okay, you didn't remember to do this. Sorry.
I go first alphabetically, except when we're using our real names, because then you go first alphabetically.
Yeah. Anyway, but I'll be fair to Ashe here in that they do also pronounce Arrow's name as Arrow, even though it's like I thought this was originally just that one guy did it because he's a fucking dumbass. Because then Jane pains him, but then she also says Arrow, and I was like, wait, what the fuck? No, it's Arrow, Dakota Fanning. We're in the last movie.
Some kid named Riley is the one who's missing, as established by Charlie and the newspaper. Edward is like trying to talk Bella into not being a vampire because all your family will die. Also, I don't have a soul. And then they kiss.
All your family's gonna die around you. Attachments will become fucking hellish.
Then we cut to Bella and Jacob walking outdoors. These all just happen. There's no like transitions. It's just now she's outside with Jacob, and now she's in bed with Edward, and this keeps happening.
We just jump from scene to scene that doesn't matter.
Now Jacob says that he's in love with her, and then Bella doesn't want him, and I don't think you don't know what you want. Punch out my hand.
And then Edward's almost about to fucking kill him.
And Edward like is reading him the fucking riot act, and this is like the first time I've seen like angry Robert Pattinson in this whole fucking franchise.
First time where Robert Pattinson gives a fuck.
Bella sprained her hand, according to Carlisle, and Emmett makes fun of her for it, sort of. He's like, "Oh, you punched a werewolf. This is rad." Also, his hair sucks.
His hair sucks.
Rosalie's just mad at Bella because she envies her because, you have a choice to become a vampire. I was made to be one. Flashback to a story 3 movies in.
Basically, I feel like they don't give the best explanation. So Rosalie was the daughter of a banker during the Great Depression, weirdly. So
the Roaring 20s and the Depression that came immediately afterwards.
She was like
she was a rich girl, and she couldn't do far because it doesn't even matter in the. I'm trying to remember the fucking lyric. You're a rich girl.
She was the daughter of a banker, and she was gonna get married to this other rich guy.
On your old man's money.
On your old man's money.
On your old man's money.
And then
she meets this dude named Royce, and I think like she knew him previously, but he's drunk.
Well, they're engaged, and this is like they're
engaged,
big like,
and he's drunk, and then she's like, "You're drunk. Talk to me when you're not drunk." Evanescence, call me when you're sober. Evanescence doesn't happen until like the 2000s, but I know about him, bitch.
Yeah,
and then,
basically, I
and
don't
then
think they
she-
say it.
and then he sexually assaults her.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, it's far more noted. Like, it's not like there's not a full scene, but it is more
It's not
explicitly
like those
said.
movies that show you like a full rape scene to get the shock into you, because there's a couple of movies like that.
Yeah,
But it's
well, that's the thing, and the movie's like very implicative of it.
but
I think in the
that
book,
they were trying
Mosley
to
just
imply
says,
that she was being sexually assaulted.
yeah, that she was beaten and sexually assaulted by her fiance and her friends and left to die.
Left to die. Then one of the Cullens, I think maybe Carlisle found her.
Carlisle had turned her to be a mate for Edward, but she just was like, fuck
I'm gonna
that.
get in a wedding dress and then kill my ex, like Kill Bill style, just cause.
Kill her ex and all of her other assailants.
And she's only there for like 1 second of her wearing a wedding dress. And she's
It's
like,
slightly
I wanted to age with my like Royce or whatever, or I wanted to age and grow old with them. And Bella's like,
have kids.
but what about what I want?
Oh, Bella's the worst.
It's like, oh no, I'm sorry that happened to you, Rose. Like you getting sexually assaulted and then like all your loved ones dying and left for dead, and then getting
and
rejected.
Also, you never get to have children, even though you really wanted kids.
And you'll never have children, and you'll never grow old with your lover and have kids. But what about me?
Bella sucks.
I fucking hate Bella. I'm not gonna blame Kristen Stewart for anything.
No, this is a writing thing.
This is a writing
anything.
and directing thing.
Mainly a writing thing. I feel like the directors just basically are just having to work with what they got.
I wrote, so I have a very like train. I don't know if train of thought is the right
stream
word.
Of consciousness.
I have a stream of consciousness style for my notes, and I'm trying to understand what the fuck I wrote.
Okay.
She was in a wedding dress the whole time for reasons. I miss aging, Rose. But what about what I want? Yeah, but you'll be a vampire. Low profile.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Oh, now I remember. Okay, she wants to be a vampire. Like, nothing Rose said, like, even fucking got to her.
Penetrated.
Her impenetrable wall of whatever.
Impenetrable wall of, but vampires.
But vampires are cool. I want a big one. But I don't want to get married.
I don't want to get married. That's weird.
Riley's gang is just, like, cars are flipped upside down and shit's on fire. And,
oh yeah,
and Riley's like, why the fuck are you guys being so obvious? They're gonna come kill us, dude.
What did I say about keeping a low profile?
Don't shit where you eat. This guy looks like the dude from Lonely Island.
Andy Samberg?
No, the other one.
The other one?
He looks like the... Okay, so I remember the Jizz in My Pants music video. And Andy Samberg, they're both pretending to be British. And there's Andy Samberg, and he's got his giant Andy Samberg head. And then there's like a skinny British guy, or like a skinny guy who's pretending to be British, and he's the one who's...
3 members, so I'm wondering which one it was. Was it Jorma or Akiva?
I don't think it was... It might have been Jorma.
Yeah, he looks like Jorma.
Let me see if I could... Jorma. Not Germa.
Not Germa. I can pull up the wiki entry for Lonely Islands. Hold on. I don't know. I thought you meant that he looked like Andy Samberg for a while.
No, he looks like Jorma Taccone.
Ah.
Taccone. Those pronunciation guides are difficult. Yeah, he looks like Jorma. And then the dude is with Dakota Fanning, the tall one. He looks like Andy Samberg.
Ah.
And maybe a little bit of Akiva Schaffer, but
maybe a little bit, yeah.
By the way, I would say check out their Bash Brothers like musical. Fucking love that one.
Oh yeah, it was pretty good.
When he's running through like a bunch of nude cutouts of a woman with a bat up his ass.
That's right. That's the recommendation you make while talking about the Twilight Saga Eclipse.
Look, man, I'm coming off a high right now.
That's true.
I watched this while stoned, and like I'm coming down, but it's also made me in a very like amused mood, even though this movie is just fucking boring.
This is a nothing movie. I will be impressed if we match
We
like the
watched this
2 hour
in
mark.
2 shifts. I swear to God, nothing happened in that first one.
Nothing stuck with us at all. We were just like, God.
Everything's on fire. There's a car upside down. You look like the guy from Lonely Island. They get a message from Aro. I'm gonna go with Aro. And now we're at the graduation ceremony, and everyone's wearing yellow. And this girl who's Bella's friend, I don't know her name.
That's Jessica. It's Anna Kendrick's character.
Anna Kendrick is like, I wanted to be a gold medalist princess when I grew up. But, you know, the thing about growing up is you get to fuck up as many times as you want.
Oh, well, I mean, you can still be a gold medalist princess. Just break that neck, Jessica.
Break that neck. Also, like, go to a country and, like, take it over with
Take
a
it
broken
over.
neck.
With a broken freaking neck. And
But,
then
like,
win
it
the
cuts to
gold.
Bella, and it's just like, Bella, it's okay if you fuck up making a choice to become a vampire. Because, like, you can get a do-over. It's like, no, you can't.
No.
I mean, you can undo a marriage. We can't do becoming a fucking vampire.
Yeah, really. It's either you become a vampire or you fucking die.
Yeah. So they're at a party, and Muse is playing really fucking loud, and she's trying to talk to Jessica, and she's like, I get it now, thanks to you. And then
That was a great speech.
That was a great
Muse.
speech. I get to fuck up as many times as I want. Well, it's like, mistakes are lessons. Blah, blah, blah.
Bye.
I don't know. It's just, I don't think that's relevant to becoming a vampire.
No.
Jacob is there because they invited him, even though she punched him in his hot chest and his hot chest.
And he's apologizing for being a shit.
Here's a woo boy, little carved wooden woof. You.
Yeah, little. I'm sorry for punching you.
I'm sorry for letting you punch me. What?
Oh wait, she punched him. Yeah, I'm sorry for forcing myself on you, and then you broke your fan on my face.
And then Alice has visions of dudes smelling shirts, so they're coming to Forks, and she's on the stairs, and she's like, whoa. And then everyone's got fake hair.
Dude, smelling shirts.
Jacob wants to fight, but Bella doesn't want him to fight. But Jasper knows how to take down newborns, so there's a training arc.
The training montage set to the fucking Black Keys, wasn't it?
Black Angels.
Oh, the Black Angels?
A psychedelic rock band, which for some reason is in 2 different vampire medias. I don't know why.
Oh yeah, they were in the Vampire Diaries, weren't they?
Yeah, they were.
God damn.
They're also in True Detective. That's a good show. Except for the latest season, apparently. That one's kind of bad.
This is a lame-ass fucking montage.
They have a training arc, and everyone's just taking bumps in the woods, like they're landing on their back.
Every one of your balls is poking out of your shorts.
Good snap. One of your balls is poking out of your shorts.
It might have been hanging out. Whatever.
Edward becomes like incensed at seeing the little Abu boy on Bella's arm. It's like, it's just a graduation present. Stop it.
Jesus.
All the werewolves show up, but they're not turning into humans because they don't trust the vampires. And also, I guess Edward is like the interpreter for the wolves because he can read minds.
He can read minds.
But I forgot that part because I was high, so I just thought Edward's like, the wolf said arf, arf, arf.
Oh, I wish.
And that means that they don't trust. Emmett runs at Jasper with some music playing, and then Jasper's going to teach him to step forward with your right foot. And you know they're fighting and they're doing like wire fu shit with each other, and Black Angels is playing. And this music's not thematically appropriate. It's an action
This is
scene,
not montage music
and
at
like
all.
the Black Angels are like kind of like a slow psychedelic rock, like 70s, like early Pink Floyd kind of shit, right? And Bella's talking to a giant CG wolf, who is Jacob, and pets his CG head, which is a real man.
Which is a real man that she's just petting on the head.
Then the wolf leaves all jealous when Edward shows up and tells them that they're done for this sesh. And then Bella's talking to Jasper because she doesn't know why Jasper knows how to fight newborns.
And now tell me your backstory, Jasper.
Tell me your backstory, Jasper. He got bite marks on him because he was a major in the cavalry of the Union, not the Union, the Confederacy.
He was in the Confederacy because that is the only side the vampires ever choose in the Civil War, and it's real awkward.
I said this to you before I came back from cooking dinner. Was there like a Confederate Vogue in like the 2010s? Like
There was
late
some
2000s?
sort of weird romanticism of the Confederacy, and especially in vampire media.
Like,
I know there's
hot,
like...
Was it hot to be a Confederate for like a 2-year period of time in 2010?
I know there was like a video by and I can't remember who it was. What's the word? Like a video essayist, and I want to say it was Princess Weeks, but I feel like that's not correct.
Like everyone got to like romanticize delusions about wanting to be in the antebellum South.
Oh yeah, no, it was Princess Weeks. It was Why Are There So Many Confederate Vampires? I really recommend that one, actually.
Yeah, watch that one. Because True Blood also has a Confederate vampire in it for some inexplicable
True Blood has
reasons.
a Confederate vampire. Vampire Diaries has it.
Hey,
Hey guys, it's Ash. We're breaking the typical like podcast thingy setup to sort of discuss what happened when we were recording. And what happened was simply we typically, we were doing the podcast, and then one of our friends came on and joined the call. And this doesn't usually like interrupt us because I don't know why we recorded in group chat, honestly. It was just sort of like one of those things that I never really thought about. So he kind of joined our call, and it'd be like a little funny thing, like we would just yell at him as a joke, and then he'd like, "Oh, sorry," and then log off. But he had to talk to us about something kind of serious, so we had to stop the recording. Now, that wouldn't be like too bad of a thing, but the other thing was it was getting kind of late, so I told Megafighter he could go to bed. And after that, when he woke up, he was sick. And, I don't want to like keep doing those like 2-3 week breaks between episodes because I'm really trying to get this podcast off the ground. But at the same time, I don't want to be a slave driver and force Megafighter to work while he's sick because I'm not one of those freaks that, make it so, oh, you got to go to work even though you're dying. So, I wanted to be respectful and just let him rest up. And, if he has something he wants to talk about with the Twilight podcast, I'm going to wait until he feels better, first of all. And second of all, actually, I don't know what second of all is. I'm kind of shooting from the hip here. So I'm going to continue the review by myself. And if you guys don't like that, I'm sorry. But yeah, I'll get Megafighter's thoughts on this when we record the next episode of the podcast. But, I have ADHD, and the problem with that is I kind of forget what the hell I'm talking about and like what I remember. So I'm going to just like talk about Twilight Eclipse while it's fresh. And when Megafighter comes to talk about it, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let him, because he's read the books and I haven't. So I think he might remember more than me, when we like come and talk about it. So I'm gonna run through my notes and I'm gonna check the summary just to make sure I have everything lined up properly when I review this. Because, these episodes go kind of long, especially because it's a movie and there's a lot to say. But kind of not really, because honestly this movie is kind of mid, but like not in a good way. Because there are some movies that are mid, but like they're not too bad to watch. Like if you got popcorn or you got friends, that's nothing. Like, let me drink some water. But like if you got friends and you're watching kind of a mid movie, like that's fine. Like who cares? But this movie just the first hour is dull as fuck. And like the second hour picks up a little bit and there's some fun stuff, but I don't think it's enough to save that first half. And I feel like you could easily cut like 15, 20 minutes from this movie. And, you wouldn't lose too much, honestly. And, I watched this video essay from ContraPoints, this YouTuber I like. You probably know her more than you know me, honestly. I'm just some loser on the internet. But it made me think about what people like who come to these movies want to see. And what they want to see isn't always the thing that I want to see, because I want suspense, I want stakes, I want drama, I want action. And there is that romantic aspect to it. And I guess some people like that. And I like some romance in my stories. I'm particularly known in most of my books to have an asexual like protagonist, mostly because I feel like the romance is a distraction from what I want to say. But there's something about this particular romance that I just feel like isn't really appealing to me in any sense. I feel like the relationship between Bella and Edward is just, it feels like it's missing some things. And I think the thing that it's missing is I don't feel like Bella is a fully fledged person. And Edward, yeah, he's a vampire stereotype for the most part. He's mysterious, he's caring, he, for some reason, just really likes Bella. But I don't know. I just feel like whenever I like a romance, I just sort of feel this genuine, like, the two halves are a complete whole, but like the two halves are also more than what they are separate. It's like them in a relationship feels like each person feels more alive than when they're not in that relationship. And I just do not see it. And that's the really frustrating part. And like I do see a connection between Jacob and Bella, especially in the second movie. But in this one particularly, I sort of feel like they just sort of changed his personality to make it more like a up in the air question to see, if Bella likes Jacob more than Edward. And it's like, oh, but Jacob's got flaws. In particular, he's a dick. And I feel like, I don't know, man. There's a thing when you accidentally write yourself into a corner that you're forced to change something about it. And that's kind of a lazy writing trope, because I feel like there's a more clever way to like get out of this situation than, oh, he's a werewolf now and now he's a douchebag. I don't know. I just feel like there's a better way to handle that. So that being said, I'm gonna drink some more water because I'm very thirsty and I'm talking a lot. I'm sorry for the different format, but like, yeah, I'm just gonna talk. I'm not used to like talking by myself. It's weird. I usually have someone I could bounce off of. So where we were, I believe. Let me scroll down. I wonder if there's an option in Audacity to like cut the silence gaps. Okay. I can't read what I'm writing. Okay, so they're training to fight the newborns. I remember that. I just got to find out where that is. Okay, it's only 14 pages of notes. That's not shit. I'm gonna find the word sesh, and like using the word sesh because I'm an idiot is going to be the way that I find where I was. So Jasper is covered in bite marks because apparently that's like related to his training in the cavalry when he met some lady named Maria. He was a Confederate soldier, and that's all they say about him being in the Confederate Army because he's down in El Paso, and Maria's making like a vampire army, and what she would do is like she would turn them into vampires, and then after a year she would have Jasper kill them. I don't know why. It's so weird. Like, why turn them if you're gonna kill them later? That's just pointless. You're just wasting time. uh, Jasper then breaks a child's neck in the flashback. I don't know why. Let me see if I can find Jasper in this summary. Okay. The newborns are feeding on humans as the Volturi watch and discuss what are they going to do. The Volturis think the Cullens should die because they only want Edward and Bella. Because they have special powers, but not the kind that Alice has, because those are special powers too, but they're not. Also Jasper, they also have special powers, but like I guess the Volturi's only interested in like Edward and Bella maybe. Eh. So after that, Bella goes to sleep, and she starts dreaming of Jasper and Maria, even though like he doesn't know what Maria looks like. And then in the dream, Maria becomes victorious somehow and tells Jasper to kill Bella. And I guess that means that she knows that Victoria's leading the army to come like kill off like Bella. But I don't know why she would know that. I mean, unless she has prophetic dreams. I mean, she dreamed of like a werewolf once in the last movie. But so after that, there's this weird thing where like there's like a head motion tracking thing in the dream to make it look creepy. Bella talks Edward into like joining her in the well, she wants to be part of the battle for some reason, even though she's a fucking human and she'll die. So he eventually caves, and then they talk about like, oh, so we're gonna fight the vampires that Victoria brings in this random field, because this random field will give us an advantage rather than parkouring through the fucking woods. They keep telling Jacob he's stinky. And the plan is like they're gonna put up a tent in the woods, and they're gonna have Jacob, because he's stinky, carry his stinky body, carry Bella to the tent because he stinks so bad that they can't smell Bella because she's stinky, or because he's stinky. No, Bella's not stinky; she's normal, I think. Jacob says to Bella that he had no intentions of being in Sam's pack, and that, you know, Sam's the alpha of the pack, and he didn't want to do it, but he sort of felt like he had to, mostly because, you know, those were the people he knew, and he'd probably be worse off by himself. Bella starts like cutting her fingers and like puts her blood and hair in like the little pine trees in the woods to distract the newborns, even though that kind of doesn't help the whole stinky Jacob situation. But first, Alice goes to Charlie, and she clears up Bella's itinerary so that she can have a night with Edward before this all happens. And Charlie's like, I'm going fishing. And now that Charlie's going fishing, they kind of go into the bedroom and they cuddle. And she's like, Edward, I want to have sex with you. And Edward's like, no, I want to get married first. And this is a ring that I got in my past at some point. It might have been like Alice's ring or something. I kind of forgot. And he's like, I'll only have sex with you if you marry me first. And Bella's like, oh my God. And then Edward's like, I've been trying to word this right, but Elizabeth, will you marry me? And Bella says yes. And then they go to the battlefield, also known as the random fucking like field they found in like a woods clearing. And Bella starts leaving her blood and hair everywhere to distract the newborns, even though like that kind of messes up the whole Jacob plan of Stinky Jacob. So now Jacob picks up Bella and carries her to the campsite. And as soon as they get to the campsite, it's weird. It's like shot for shot. She's at the campsite and it's like, all right, let's go in this tent and let's hang out until like the fight clears over. I'm going to drink some more water. And then like there's no indication that like a storm is coming or anything. It's just camera cuts and it's a fucking like blizzard. Like complete blizzard. Just there's snow everywhere. It's going sideways. All the trees are white. They're on the side of this mountain or some shit. And like Bella's is like, oh, I'm so cold. Oh, what the fuck? Oh, Jacob like climbs in. I think Edward's already at the tent. And then like Jacob climbs into the tent with his shirt off because he's hot or something. And Bella's like in her hat and she's like freezing and shaking and it's like, she's gonna get hypothermia, Edward. And Edward's like, yeah, I know, whatever. And Jacob's like, if she's gonna become a vampire, she needs her toes. Or if she's gonna get with you, she needs her toes. So then the cuck tent scene happens, which apparently is a thing they call it. And Edward lets Jacob cuddle her with his shirt off so that she can stay warm during the winter. And I felt like she should have brought that like quilt that her mom got her when she went to Florida for 5 minutes in that one like cutaway scene. They kind of talk. Edward and Jacob talk about how much they love Bella, and that like Bella's, I'm what's right for Bella. Jacob says, and Edward's like, I know that you're right for. If she doesn't love you, then what do you do? And he's like, I mean, she loves me secretly, deep down. She just doesn't know it yet, which is kind of a creepy way to say that. Then they talk about like how they want to kill each other. Edward says, but yeah, so they just sort of talk about like how much they love Bella because she's just sleeping and in the cuck tent. So Bella asks him for the best night because when she said yes to the marriage proposal, well, they wanted to have like their best night together after she said yes to the marriage proposal, but then Jacob overhears it because he's got good hearing or some shit. He's like, you proposed to Bella? What the fuck? And he gets like real mad. And then it's just like, I'm gonna run down to the battle and get myself killed. And Bella's like, no, Jacob, don't do that. So she follows him, and then he kisses her, or she kisses him. And it's like, that should have been our first kiss, and not the one where you punched me and broke your hand like a dumbass. And then we cut to the battle. A big fight, and all these hipsters are like running at each other. And they're running at each other, and they start punching, and like their heads fly off, and it looks goofy as shit. But at least I was laughing. I was laughing the whole fucking time. That was funny. So this fight sequence goes on for a little while. I don't know. It's just it. For some reason, like Bella just tells that she just told Charlie that she's a virgin. And Charlie's just eating like a bread sandwich. I'm going back a little bit. I'm sorry. I'm not in chronological order, but I'm checking my notes again. The Cullens didn't buy a bed until someone like came over to sleep there. They bought a brand new bed just for Edward and Bella. Even though like they have to pretend they're human, Edward's got that purity ring shit. Riley is very close to Victoria, and she's not a lady to mess with. And they're gonna end the Cullen clan, and then the evil kiss. And then she does the blood touchies, and the pieces are set. Edward's at a tent. Jacob's there. Immediate blizzard. Bella's dying. Sorry, I'm kind of walking through my notes because I want to find out where I am. It's a weird answer to "Would you kill me?" And he's like, "Maybe. I don't know. I might kill you." So another wolf approaches, and it's Seth. Seth, the little teenage boy wolf. And then, like, Jacob gets mad and leaves. Anyway, they walk back to the tent, and it just looks fake. It looks really fake. Like, the whole scene just looks like they're on a set. Like, the snow looks grainy and, like, weirdly powdery, but, like, not in a good way. And the trees look like they're made of plastic. Either that, or they're, like, on a green screen. So the vampires are fighting, and then the wolves show up in slow motion and bite the people. And then Jasper hits a rock bottom, and then a clothesline, and then he backhands someone's head off. So they've been like amping up these fucking newborn vampires for the whole movie, and they just get their ass kicked. Like, the training sequence of Jasper is enough to just completely ignore the fact that they're apparently twice as strong as an older vampire, which makes this whole like hyping them up thing completely fucking pointless. So I'm trying to remember what happens because like I think one of the vampire girls on like the evil newborn side like surrenders to the Cullens. And I'm trying to remember what the fuck Leah did, because, like, Jacob gets injured. But, yeah, we're back on the mountain, and Edward realizes that Victoria is approaching rapidly. It's probably because Bella put her fucking blood everywhere. Riley's there, too, with Victoria, and is like, Edward tries to convince Riley that Victoria doesn't give a fuck about him, and he's like, you're a liar. So they fight. And Seth gets beat up, and Edward gets beat up, but they kind of hold them off. And I'm trying to remember what happens to Riley, honestly, because I kind of forgot. So Riley chooses death, and then Seth bites his hand off. Someone killed James. I don't know. Oh yeah, Edward was like taunting Victoria that he killed James so they could fight, and then they have like a fake ass snow fight. Edward like pushes a tree. And Victoria gets the advantage. And like the third wife of that Native American guy, Bella cuts her wrist, and blood starts gushing out of her hand like she's a fucking hemophiliac. And like that's just never stated at all. So Riley gets his shoulder nibbled on by Seth, and Victoria doesn't help him. And then he bites her head off. I think, like, Edward bites her head off, and it's, like, it looks fucking stupid. And then they light her on fire, and then she's, like, flammable. She's like, fire! And then actually, before they set her on fire, they do this thing where, like, her head's off her body, and, like, there's this weird stone statue effect on the bottom of her severed head. And her head's just laying there in the snow, and it looks like the most fake fucking thing you've ever seen. It just looks like they put this actress in a morph suit, and they just sort of like, be dead, okay? I don't remember if Riley died. Did Riley die? Riley. I don't know if Riley died. I guess like Riley's head also got ripped off at some point. So the battle's over, and the day saved, and the Volturi show up to the Cullens, and the CG wolves can't trust the Volturi, so it's not a truce. And I think like Leah goes crazy and attacks the vampire who surrendered, but like Jacob forces her to back off. And then this other vampire like hugs him and breaks his ribs or some shit. I don't honestly, I can't associate. I don't know which wolf is which, and I don't know who this dude is. He just kind of grabs Jacob and like breaks his bones. And then Carlisle's like, the right half of his bones are shattered. Just all of them, all of his bones. So the shirtless boys show up and they take Jacob to safety. They take him back to the house. And then the evil hobbit vampires show up. The ring wraiths are here. And they look stupid, and one of them is Dakota Fanning. So they want to kill that one vampire who surrendered, the newborn. And Jasper won't let them. But then one of the vampires, the Volturi, like hits him with the whatever the fuck, and like makes her start screaming and thrashing on the ground just because she feels like it. And then the Cullens just let them kill the girl. She's dead. I thought that was gonna go somewhere, but it didn't. Oh well. Jacob's doing some screaming back at the Black House, and Carlisle. They say that Carlisle's got to re-break all his bones because werewolves have like fast healing, and his bones weren't set properly, so he's got to reduce them and break them again. And like it's just Jacob screaming, and then Bella shows up, and she wants to come in to talk to him, and the shirtless boys let her past. And he's laying in bed, and just all his right body is just covered in casts. And then she breaks up with him while he's just sitting in the bed and like horribly injured. Edward was fine with the whole cuck tent incident, and Jacob's like, he's mid and you know it. And then Bella does admit that she did love him, but they break up kinda. And then we cut to like Edward and Bella in the lavender flowers like at the start of the movie, and they talk about August 13th is going to be their wedding day, and that Bella's a people pleaser, but she just wants to be a vampire because she doesn't feel like she's in step with the other humans, and like she doesn't have a friend group who appreciates her and asks her to do things with her, even though she does. And it's just like, Bella, that's just being a millennial, baby. That's just, yeah, this world sucks, and we're in it, and we're becoming adults at that time. And it's like, sorry, being a vampire is just an easy out for you. But at the same time, I don't know, man. Like, that's just life, dude. But she wants to be a vampire, and he's like, as long as you marry me. And it's like, this life, this vampire life that I lead, that's the life I'm interested in and what I want to be a part of, even though like I've been in mortal danger multiple times, and also like I've been to like Italy and shit. And then she puts the ring on and the movie ends, and then there's credits. And that's it. That's Twilight Eclipse. And I kind of said my thoughts about it when I started this like little one-person recording show. So I'm going to spare you from that and just say that I don't think I recommend watching this, honestly. But yeah, when Megafighter gets over his illness, I'm going to just like set up a recording with him so he and I can talk about his feelings about the movie. And I feel like that'll be separate from the episode of the Vampire Diaries we're going to watch, Season 2, Episode 12, because they're not related. I mean, they're related in the fact they're both like young adult vampire shit, but they're not related because this is a movie review and that's a show review. So let me get to the music, because music. I don't know why this is a thing I do. It's just these like shows use so much licensed music that I just want to talk about it when I have a chance. But a lot of the time it's people I don't recognize. So I can't offer much like insight to them. So we got Eclipse All Yours by Metric, which is the song in the wedding credits, I believe. Then we got the Neutron Star Collision parentheses, Love Is Forever by Muse. And I was a fan of Muse. Their first 3 albums are fucking fantastic, but I sort of feel like Matt Bellamy, I think he's the guy who's also, I think he's the writer of the music. He, I don't know, he wanted to pivot and get more political or something, but he won't tell you what his politics are, so all of his albums just sort of became, we will fight the system, and we won't tell you what the system is. And it just gets tedious. And then he's tried to experiment with more of a pop sound, and then more of a synth, like 80s synth wave kind of Stranger Things kind of vibe. And then they just tried being annoying, and I don't know, those albums fell off, man. I was a big fan though. I fucking love early Muse. That is the shit. Hours by the Bravery. The Bravery I've stated my relationship with because they were in the Burnout game that I played in my fucking teenage years. I love that Burnout game. We got My Love by Sia. I think this was before Sia became really popular. So this was back when she was more like a session kind of indie kind of singer. And then she made music where she got that one girl who was in that music video, the Chandelier music video, to play an autistic girl. And it was not good. We've got Atlas by Finfarlo. Don't know that band. Chop and Change by the Black Keys. I like them. Some people don't like them. They think they're pretentious. I don't know. I love blues revival. I'm kind of really basic like that. Rolling on a Burning Tire by The Dead Weather. The Dead Weather is the project led by Jack White and that one girl that I don't remember the name of right away, but I liked The Dead Weather. They were good. They were a good little supergroup. I like them. I like Raconteurs. Jack White's solo stuff, I'm not as much of a fan of, but when I hear it on the radio or when I hear it in a random YouTube video, I'm like, hey, Jack White. Let's Get Lost by Beck and Bat for Lashes. Beck, I don't need to explain Beck. He's been around since the 90s. Bats for Lashes, I think they were on the Vampire Diary. And then we got Jonathan Lowe by Vampire Weekend. And Vampire Weekend is an interesting band because they made a show I hate, Neo Yokio. And also they're okay. They're an okay indie band. Next. With You in My Head by Uncle, all caps, featuring the Black Angels. I'm a big fan of the Black Angels. I don't know who the fuck Uncle is. Also, it's just really interesting they collaborated so much in these old shows. Then we got A Million Miles an Hour by Eastern Conference Champions, which sounds like a sports team, and I don't know that. Then we got Life on Earth by Band of Horses. The most disappointing thing about Band of Horses is the band is not actually horses, and I feel like they need to fix that. Hire a horse, just have them teach him how to play like a kick drum or something, and then just fucking let him go, man. Let him go wild. Next up, we got What Part of Forever by CeeLo Green. CeeLo Green, he was part of that thing with Danger Mouse, but I forgot what they were called together. I think it was Gnarls Barkley. They were all right. I liked them. CeeLo Green's a good singer. And the score was composed by Howard Shore. So that's kind of the end of the review for the most part. You can follow us on pretty much anywhere you can get a podcast, like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, if that's still a thing, Google Podcasts, which I think is discontinuing, and then those little apps you can get online that let you just check out podcasts without having to get a Spotify account or something. We're on all of those. We're also on YouTube at These Hot Idiots. Apparently that's the way you find it, but you can also find it by my username, which is THI Ashe with an E, ASHE. We got our Tumblrs. Megafighter uses his more than mine, honestly, but I appreciate having one. So Megafighter343 is his Tumblr, and my Tumblr is Ashe Nightshade. Nightshade is the plant that tomatoes come from, but also they're poisonous, but like I didn't think about that. And also people used to think that tomatoes were nightshades and they were poisonous, but then someone was like pizza, and then that was completely settled. So just get well soon, Megafighter. I'm only doing this so we can have the episode out. Also because I'll completely forget like 90% of this shit by the time you're better and we can discuss this. So, yeah. See you next time. If you guys get as far as this, I just want to personally thank you, because it's almost been a year since I started this stupid project, and we don't have a lot of viewers, but you're out there and you're not always just my friends. And I just want to tell you that I really appreciate it if you've listened to these episodes, and if you've enjoyed any of them or thought any of them were funny. I would like to figure out more ways to make this channel bigger and make more entertaining stuff, and maybe try and turn this into something I could do for a living. But you just being here and listening to my stupid ass and listening to Megafighter, I want to thank you guys so much for wanting to do that. So if you ever feel like leaving a comment or liking our videos or just anything like that, it would be greatly appreciated. So I'll see you next time. Yeah, have a good day.
Now go home and smoke some more crack.